You are joining me live. I'm so sorry for complications, but hopefully it works this time. I am still very grateful to be here. Let's start with our ankles underneath our knees about hip distance apart. Tilt your pelvis into neutral, relax your ribs down and back, and then bring your arms out to your sides with your palms facing away from you. And let's start to sweep our arms up and down, tuning into your breath, feeling your upper back and your chest muscles spreading wide. One of the best things you can do for your body is throughout the day, get your arms out to your sides more often. So keeping that in mind, don't be in a rush to just get to the top. Like really feel yourself reaching out on the way down and really feel yourself reaching out on the way up. If there's a purpose that you'd like to set for your practice, anything that you want to be more aware of in your practice of life, a seed that you can plant for your well-being, plant a seed now. What would help you? What would help you to thrive? What would help you to feel good? Besides these movement classes, of course. And let's just take a few more like that. Okay, you're going to hold on to the back of the chair and you're going to try to keep your pelvis upright into neutral, but bend your elbows a little bit and lift and drop your ribs down and back. Now, as you lift and lower your ribs, try not to move from the pelvis. So it's common that when the ribs drop down, the pelvis goes back. Try to think of keeping your pelvis upright and just moving from the upper body. And keeping in mind where we want to be, and I know I talk about it a lot, but it's just so important, is we want to more often we want to be with our pelvis upright and our ribs actually relaxed down and back. And then the more you move your arms and get your upper back and chest open, when you drop your ribs down and back, it won't feel like you're hunching. And it will be better for your heart and better for your lungs and better for all the muscles around your shoulder girdle. Okay, so with your pelvis upright, ribs relaxed down. If you need a break, you can let your hands come off the back of the chair, but otherwise, maybe just switch the height a little bit and then feel like you're drawing your ears back over your shoulders, and we'll nice and slowly drop our right ear to our right shoulder and then our left ear over to our left shoulder. And right ear over, breathing, and left ear. Right side. One more each side. Take your time. And if your arms need a break, you can let them come down by your side. Otherwise, change the position of your arms. Maybe go a little lower. Bend those elbows. Hug them in a little bit. Think ribs relaxing down, pelvis upright, ears slide back, and now turn. Look over your right shoulder. And turn and look over your left shoulder. Chin stays parallel with the floor. And just going side to side at your own pace. I'm going to go 2 more times, each side. Really feel the neck muscles twist. And remember, the goal is an end range of motion. You want to feel all the ranges of motion from the end range of motion all the way to the other side. All right, how about moving our hands one more time? So again, you can take your hands off. Think of keeping your ribs down. Bend your elbows, squeeze them. And how about rotating your pelvis? So can you rotate your pelvis without your ribs going up and down? So keep the ribs dropping down and just see, can you roll back onto your tailbone? And can you roll forward onto your sitting bones without your ribs really lifting up and pushing forward? And your sitting bones are more towards the bottom of your buttocks. That's why they're called their sitting bones, because we want to sit on them more often. And you can even feel how the position of your pelvis moving changes how you feel the pull in your stretch in your chest muscles. And it may just be also to that we've been here for a while. Take a couple more rotations like that. And then next time you're upright, let your hands go, stretch your fingers out nice and wide, and let's flip our palms out. And this time keep your fingers stretching wide as you reach your arms up and down. And just keep your fingers stretching wide for a few rounds. Breathing. Okay, from here, let's stretch our right leg long, heels down, toes up in the air to start. And you're welcome, actually today we're not going to use a block under the foot because we're going to move our leg a little bit. So with your ankle, knee, and hip in line, you're going to point and flex 2 times in each angle. Point and flex. Now keep your ankle flexed, and can you curl your toes forward and curl your toes back? Curl your toes forward, but keep the flexion in your ankle, and curl your toes back. And then just relax your toes with your ankle flexed and hinge forward any amount. And once you're hinging forward, maybe play with spreading all your toes open and breathing. And then come on up. And now we'll take that leg a little bit out to the right. A little bit goes a long way. From this angle, 2 times. Point and flex. Point and flex, and then toes curl forward and back, forward and back, and then relax your toes, keep flexing your ankle and hinge forward between the center of your legs, and maybe spread all your toes out from this angle. And you can go as far forward as you feel comfortable, so if it's comfortable for you to lay your belly down on your thigh, you can do that. And then come up and take that foot across in front of your left foot, and with this angle, twice. Point and flex, point and flex. Now keep the flexion, just curl your toes forward and curl your toes back. Curl your toes forward, curl your toes back, then do your best to relax your toes, but keep your ankle flexed and hinge forward from your hips here. And maybe spread your toes out from this angle. All right, and then come on up and bend that knee, and let's switch legs. Such important work, so simple but so important. Extend your leg long, point, flex, point, flex. Take your time. Toes curl forward, toes curl back. Toes curl forward, toes curl back. Hinge forward from the hips, trying to flex the ankle but relax the toes. And then once you go as far forward as feels good for you, spread your toes open any amount. And then slowly come up. Take the leg out to the left a little bit. Point, flex, point, flex. Keep the flexion. Toes curl forward, toes go back. Toes curl forward, toes go back. And then hinge forward, lengthening through that leg, maybe spreading your toes when you've come to an angle that feels comfortable for you. Try to rotate forward from your pelvis a little bit more, and then come up nice and slowly and take that left leg in front of your right foot. Point, flex, point, flex. Keep the flexion. Toes curl, and they go the other direction. Toes curl, and they go the other direction. Then try to somewhat relax your toes with your ankle flexed. Hinge forward here. Breathing, and maybe spread all your toes wide in this angle. And sometimes it's surprising. You change the angle of your leg, you can feel different sensations when you spread your toes there. All right, and then come on up and bring that leg back, and then interlace your fingers with your right pinky finger on the bottom and press away. A little bit lower than your shoulders. Spread your thumbs away from each other and back towards you as you press through the palms of your hands, the heels of your hands, all the fingers of your hands. And then nice and slowly, with your ribs relaxed down, take your arms up into the air, any amount, trying to keep those fingers connected and the thumbs spreading. And then once you're there, hold, scoop back enough that you can stretch your legs straight. And it's going to be small because we don't want to slide forward off our chair, but from the tops of your thigh bones, just rotate your thigh bones a little bit in and out. And then slowly come back down with your hands. Switch the crossing. Put your left pinky finger on the bottom. Press away low. Get that even interlace. Thumb spread out. You're trying to, instead of your hands cupping back towards you, you're trying to get them to go all the way in the other way, in direction. And then without lifting the ribs, slowly go up in the air. Watch if those fingers come apart, just stop there. Or if the ribs come up, thumbs spreading wide. And then rotate your thigh bones and try to move from the top of your thigh bone. And mine's pretty small. I have to scoot back on my chair a little because as I start rotating, it pulls my hips forward. So just to get in 3 or 4 rotations, and then slowly bring your hands back down and release your fingers, and then bend your knees. Walk your feet wide with the outer edges of your feet straight. And then you're going to reach your hands, arms out to your side, rotate into internal rotation, though your thumbs point down. And then you're just going to slide one hand behind your back as far as you can and unwind, and then do the other hand. And take your time and reach it across. And right arm reaches behind. And left arm reaches behind. Let's do 2 more each arm. Right arm. Okay, this time when you do your right arm, hold it there behind your back. I'm going to turn around so you can see. So your right arm is behind your back. If your elbow pops out to the side, work lower. That will help you release the tension. And then as you're able to get your elbow in, you can start to change the angle of your arm, even going as high as your spine at times, depending on how much the elbow pops out to the side. And then from there, find an angle that's comfortable for you and maybe flip your forearm over on your back. And it will only go one way. Now, if the tension is really bound up from your shoulder to your hand and forearm, then it's not going to be very easy to turn. So you might just have to skip it and exercise and do the movement by just putting your arm behind your back more often, or maybe the hand doesn't turn all the way. But once the hand turns over on your back, check, can you feel winging shoulder blade on your back? And can you draw that arm bone forward and try to flatten out some of your winging shoulder blade? And then let's unwrap and let's do the other arm. So internally rotate your left arm, wrap it behind your back. Stay low if your elbow's not coming in close, so you can work down here and you can even flip there. It's going to be a little bit more challenging at different angles to flip. And I just kind of figured that out by keeping my arm lower, so you can change the angle of your arm and rotate your arm bone. And eventually, I don't know if you can see this, but I can even feel that when I'm rotating my lower arm bone, that my shoulder blade is moving around. And eventually, you should actually be able to move your forearm without much motion happening here. So flip your hand over if it's comfortable and try to draw your shoulder forward and flatten out your shoulder blade on your back. And then slowly release that arm, and I'm just going to get up and come back around to the front of the chair. All right, and then from here, we're going to scoot our left buttocks to the center of the chair and extend our right leg long. Flex your ankles so your toes point forward. Really try to extend that leg long, and then take your right arm up and over into a side bend and back out by your side, palm up and over, creating a long line from your foot to your hand and to your side, and over and out to your side and over. This time hold, rotate the arm bone so the palm faces a little bit more behind you, and tap your shoulder and extend. Tap, extend. Keep straightening the leg, flexing the ankle. Tap, extend, tap, extend, and then pull yourself up, and we'll switch. So we'll slide the right leg in, scoot over so you're on the center of your right buttocks, And then extend your left leg long, turning your toes forward so your ankle is flexed. Flip your left palm up, pelvis upright, ribs relax down, creating one long line from your foot to your fingertips and arms straight out to your side. Let's do that 3 more times. Letting your breath flow. All right, next time your arm goes over, bring the arm slightly forward, rotate, try to turn your palm behind you, and tap and extend. Tap and extend. Tap, extend, tap, extend, and then pull yourself up and slide that leg in. And then from here, sitting up nice and tall, ribs relax down. Sitting up tall comes from the pelvis. Open your arms, palms face up, a little lower than your shoulders, and really focus on the belly button as you turn to the right and to the left. And you can go a little faster sometimes, but don't forget, going slow is what will really help connect your nervous system to your muscles. So can you really just slow down for a couple rounds and feel that twist right around your waist, right around your belly button area? Your legs should be pretty stable so they're not turning in or out as you go to one side. Notice if you forget about your legs and they collapse in. And then next time you go to your right, hold the twist and just arms up and down by your side while you're twisting your belly to the right. And it puts just another little unique pull on the chest muscles, on the upper back muscles. Okay, with your arms out to your sides, turn your belly button to the left and feel that twist. Hold, check your pelvis is upright, ribs relax down, and then arms go up and down here. I like this one. I just feel like it gets into my upper back and chest muscles in a little bit of a different way. All right, unwind. So you can use a block inside your right foot, or you can just cross your ankle over your knee. Try to sit up tall in your pelvis. We'll start with our left arm low in front of us with our palm face down. So like right above your knee low, right above your foot. And then you'll reach that arm across and open it back up to the side. A little bit higher. Reach the arm across and open it back up. A little higher. Reach the arm across. Notice as the arm goes across, are you turning your torso? Try to just move the arm bone across and open up, and a little higher. Reach the arm across and open up. Now turn your palm to face forward. Check on your pelvis. Can you tilt it up right a little more? Reach across high and open up. Hand a little lower. We're doing sets of 4. So reach across and open up. Hand a little bit lower. Reach across and open up. And right above your knee, reach across and open up. Last set. Pelvis tilts upright. Rotate the palm up. As you go across, try to keep the palm facing up. Open up. Hand a little higher. Reach across and open. Hand a little higher. Reach across and open, and a little higher. Reach across and open. And then as that hand comes down, rotate forward from your pelvis. If you're already feeling really tight here, let your ankle relax. Otherwise, start working with a neutral ankle, not only flexing your ankle, but if your inner arch rolls toward you, kind of pushing your inner arch away from you as you hinge forward. And of course, check your bottom foot. What's the habit? Does it turn out to the side? Is your knee still in line with your hip? Is your ankle under your knee? Tuning into those wonderful breaths. And let's switch legs. Feet straight, ankles hip distance, either a block or a stool inside your left foot so you can rest your right foot on and make this shape, or cross your ankle over your knee. Most importantly, keep checking. How much does the pelvis sink back? Can you tilt the top two bones forward a little? Now you start with your right arm low in front. Reach across and open to the side. A little higher. Reach across and open. A little higher. And one more higher, sets of 4. Okay, now we change the rotation. Palm face forward. Reach across without turning the torso. A little lower. And last one, a little lower. Okay, with your arm out to your side, rotate up. Try to really keep that rotation. Check in with your pelvis. And across low, a little higher. A little higher. And a little higher. And then let your arms slowly come down and rotate from your pelvis first, relaxed or neutral ankle. Remember, flexing and maybe pushing your inner arch. And you'll notice the more neutral you come to, it's almost like your thigh will lift up a little bit. So you're getting more into your hip muscles. But if your knee's already up here, probably best to just relax your ankle at first and hinge forward from the hips. And of course, if you have your foot on a stool or a block, you can work with neutral ankle there. Okay, come on up, grab a block or a strap. If we're gonna use the block behind our backs, using our palms, not our fingers. If you don't have a block, a strap with your palms facing forward and your thumbs out to the side with the strap taut behind your back will work. Spin to the side of your chair, and then from here, or actually you don't, well, yeah, you do have to spin to the side of your chair because I think the back of the chair will be in the way. And then try to sit up tall with your pelvis, hold on to the block, squeezing it between your hands. Elbows hug in a little, ribs stay relaxed down, and lift and lower. Now, essentially, you're bending and straightening your elbows with this one. Whereas sometimes we hold the block and we lift through our upper arms, but this time we're just bending and straightening. Okay, now put the block down for a moment, and you might want to put it on the other side because we're going to come back to it. And then slide your knee back for a lunge. Let the knee hang right under the hip. Try to get that good shape where it pulls on the front of the thigh, because this is the only seated lunge we're going to do today. And then reach your outside arm out to the side, thumb down, wrap it behind your back. You can go any height. You can work slightly different, slightly lower. You can stay there and just try to touch more of your forearm and your fingers to your back, or you can flip your hand over on your back. With your ribs relaxed down, slide your ears back over your shoulders. Take a breath. And then, and you can work on drawing that shoulder blade wide, so taking out any bony edges. And then release and bring that same arm forward, hand to your shoulder, ribs stay down. You can press up through your elbow and hug it in, or find an angle that feels good for you. Very subtle, just a little bit one way or a little bit the other way. And just feel that whole chain of the body from your elbow going down the front of your thigh. And then release that arm and let's spin around. And we're not coming right into the lunge. So first we're just sitting up tall in our pelvis, ribs relaxed down, holding onto the block, squeezing our palms into the block, squeezing our elbows back a little, and bend and straighten the elbows. All right, and then put the block down, and now go ahead and slide that leg back. Get that nice setup with the knee right under the hip, ankle right behind the knee. Reach your arm out to your side, palm faces behind you, thumb down, wrap. Maybe choose a different height. Maybe flip your hand over on your back. Try to get any winging out. And so first it's the top, and then eventually if you can reach down, you can feel, oh, the bottom edge of the shoulder blade is winging, and you can try to gently pull it forward a little bit more. It seems counterintuitive, but it's actually by stretching these muscles out that allows this shoulder to get wider, which is what we want to prevent hunching. Take a breath there, maybe move your head back over your shoulders a little bit. Touch more of your fingers or the back of your hand to your back. And then release that arm, bring it forward, hand to the shoulder. Ribs stay down as elbow goes up. You can press up a little with your other hand, but find an angle. So for some people, if your elbow tends to really pop out, like wrapping it all the way in will be a nice angle. But just move it back and forth like a couple inches, slowly. And you'll often find the perfect angle for you, like right there. For whatever reason, it's just this one subtle angle, but my muscle even starts to shake a little bit. Breathing. All right, and then your arm comes down, your leg slides forward. You can move that block out of the way for now. And now you're gonna sit all the way back in your chair. I'm gonna turn sideways for visual purposes. So if you have a really high back to your chair, this is gonna be a hard one to do. So just do the best you can. But you're sitting all the way back. And you're going to interlace your hands behind your head. Still try to ground your feet to the floor. And most of the time when we lean back, our ribs lift up. So maybe not for you guys, because you guys are so practiced in keeping your ribs relaxed down. But you want to try to keep your ribs relaxed down, keep your chin down so you're not lifting from the chin, and just see kind of how far back can you lean without your ribs popping forward. Maybe you can even feel the back of the ribs on the chair. And if your chair is a little higher than mine, it's even better because you can feel more of your rib cage. But you're just leaning your head back, trying to bend your spine back, but without your ribs thrusting forward, because this does something very different to your muscles than when your ribs are relaxed down and you're leaning back. Let's curl it a few times. So come up, think ribs down and back, and then go back without the ribs pushing forward off the chair. And curl up and back. And curl up and back. And then slowly come up and reach your arms up and let your hands come down and scoot forward to the front of your chair and watch the way you're getting up. Do your feet scoot back, scoot them forward. Do your thighs collapse in and out. Try to keep them neutral. Try to come up a little bit slower. Really work on the feet forward and the knees in and out first. Like if you're still scooting your feet back, you don't want to work on the spine yet. You really want to work where you're at. But if you're really good at keeping your ankles under your knees and your thighs not collapsing in, as you lean forward to get up, if you just lean forward a tiny little bit less, you'll have to use more of your legs to get up. So just see, like, where do I normally get up at? And if you bring your spine up a little bit, you'll have to use a lot more of your leg muscles to get up. So that's kind of next step if you've really mastered keeping your ankles under your knees. Come around to the back of your chair and walk back, 2 straight arms, 2 straight legs. Push your hips back. Maybe rotate your thigh bones into neutral. Relax your kneecaps up and down, creating a long line. If you haven't done this one in the mirror lately, it's a good one to check. Are your knees slightly bending? So my legs are pretty straight, and then once I rotate my thigh bones into neutral, they want to go into this soft bend, so I've got to keep my legs a little straighter. And it's showing that there's still pockets of deep tension up there in my hips, which I'm aware of. All right, and then come on up and grab whatever you're going to use for a calf stretch. Put the ball of your right foot up, your heel down on the floor, left foot can step forward any amount, and just remember over time, maybe you do inch that foot forward a tiny little bit more as long as you can relax your muscles around your legs. And then from here, let's relax our ribs down, turn our elbow pits forward, and just drop our right ear to our right shoulder and hold. Breathing. You can even, if your right ear is going to your right shoulder, gently and slowly reach down through your left fingertips. And then slowly bring your head up. And from here, let's slowly drop our left ear to left shoulder. And how about reaching down through your fingers? All right, and then bring your head up, switch feet. Ball of the foot up, heel down. Outer edges of feet straight. Maybe you step that outside foot forward. And then from here, ribs relax down, elbow pits forward. Turn and look over your right shoulder. Keep the twist of the neck without twisting the torso. And same thing, gently, maybe feel like you're reaching your left fingers down to the floor. Very subtle, very not aggressive. Unwind your neck, turn and look over your left shoulder, chin parallel with the floor. Check in with your feet. Do they feel like you're rolling to one side of your ankle? And then reach your right fingers towards the floor. All right, and then bring your neck back, step off that block, come to the back of the chair with a little bend in your elbows, but hips back over your ankles. With that bend in your elbows, you're gonna go out to the side where we wanna probably spend less of our time when we're driving, when we're on computers, and wrap our elbows down and hang them straight to the floor, which is where we wanna spend more of our time when we're pushing shopping carts. Elbows out to the side and curl them down. Elbows out to the side and curl down. Elbows out to the side and curl down. Push your hips back over your heels. Come on up to stand. When we're balancing, next to feet, straight, and ankles hip distance, you really want your weight back in your heels. So there's a tendency your body will keep pulling you forward, the more, and even more so when you're on one leg, if it happens when you're on two legs. So maybe use a wall to really keep your hips back, and then you'll push down through one hip and tap the top of your toes under, and step that foot back, push down through the other hip, tap your toes under, and step back. Feet straight, ankles hip distance. Push down, hug the hip in, hip back over the heel, top of the foot tap. Bring the foot back. Push down, hip hugs in. If it tends to pop out, top of the foot tap. Let's do two more each side. Thigh bones back. Thigh bones back. Thigh bones back. All right, come back to elbows bent slightly, ankles over your hips, or ankles under your hips, elbows bent, and keep them hugging down to the floor without letting them pop out at all. And then straighten back and bend the elbows. If you can go forward a little bit more. Straighten back and bend the elbows down. Straighten back and bend down, and straighten back and bend the elbows down, and then straighten back, press into your heels to come up, feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. You're working on sitting back as you squat, and then press up and maybe light fingertips to the chair, heel raise nice and slow. Can you press equally through the balls of your feet so your ankles are very straight and not rolling out even a tiny bit? Slowly lower down, sit back into a chair pose. Are your thighs collapsing in or out? Stabilize them about hip distance apart. Press up, come all the way up off your heels, nice and slowly, and then slowly lower back down. Sit back, just like getting out of a chair. Over time, can you sit your hips back further without your spine dropping so low? So kind of go back as far as you can and then see, can I lift my spine up just a little bit without feeling any tension? And you might even feel more work in your buttocks, more work in your thighs. And then press up and lift up off your heels. And then slowly lower down. Sit back into a squat pose. Maybe your spine doesn't go so low, and you try to move back with your thighs a little bit more. Breathing. And then press up and lift up off your heels, pressing equally through the balls of the feet. And then slowly lower the heels down. You're going to sit back into a chair pose and step your right leg back into a lunge. You want to try to step it back pretty far, because then you're going to bend the back knee. And if your feet are too close together, when you bend, that front knee is going to go forward. So you want to try to step it back a little as you bend both knees. And then straighten and step that foot back up. Sit back into a chair pose, step your right foot behind your left foot quite a bit. And then same thing, without the front knee going forward, you're going to try to put a bend in that back knee. This is called like a plie lunge. And press up and push off your back foot to step your foot forward. Let's do the other side. Sit back into a chair pose, step your left leg straight back, and then just try to bend your knee. And you can kind of push your torso away from your chair a little bit, put your pelvis a little bit more neutral, and then push off those back toes to step up. Sit back, step back with your left foot, but across behind you. And then try to put a bend in that back knee. And then push off the ball of the foot as you step back up. Pigeon toe your feet, turn them in towards each other, and push your hips back. And then come up just enough that you can maybe lift the front of your foot up and rotate your feet out and push your hips back. And then come up just enough that you're going to try to, from where you are, you're going to lift your heels up and spin them out and push your hips back. And then come up just enough that you can lift the front of your feet up and turn your toes out to the side and push your hips back. And then from there, you should be pretty close to like a warrior stance. So turn your feet straight and just come up with two wide legs. Turn your right toes out 90 degrees. Bend into the right knee, warrior two stance, checking the knee over the ankle. Let's say you're really good at working with your knee over your ankle. Maybe sometimes do a little bit behind your ankle. Maybe sometimes do a little bit past your ankle. But remember, you're doing this very purposefully, and so if you don't know the reasons why, like if you're just like, if you have a knee issue and you're going past your ankle, that's probably not where you want to be. So if you're not sure yet of the purpose, then just stay over your ankle, and then with your arms a little lower than your shoulders, rotate your arm bones. And then bring your right hand in front of you, hand to the shoulder, elbow up, find that angle, and lean back towards your straight left leg. And then slowly come up, release your arms down, switch sides. Left toes turn out, edge of the foot straight, right leg stays straight, bend into the knee, arms out to the side, rotate the arm bones. Breathing. I mean, if you have a knee issue, maybe you work with your knee back a little bit behind your ankle. Or if you notice, oh, maybe I always work with my knee back behind my ankle, maybe I should try to bend my knee right over. But for a lot of people, they tend to go past. So kind of find what you tend to do and mix it up. And then bring the left arm forward, hand to the shoulder, use your right hand to lift up, find that subtle angle, and then bend back over your right leg, reaching from your buttocks into your heel. And then come up, release your arms. Let's do one more set each side. So turn your right toes out, something different though. Arms out to your sides, tip over into a triangle pose. Flip your top hand, wrap it behind your back, slide it in, maybe take it up toward your spine a little bit, but then draw that shoulder forward. Bend into your right knee, hand or elbow to the knee. Maybe your hand flips over on your back. Without pulling your shoulder back, rotate your belly button towards the ceiling. And then release that arm, pull your torso up, turn your toes in, turn your left toes out, and then two straight arms, tip over into a triangle pose. Flip your top hand and wrap it behind your back. Take it any angles. Feel free to change it up sometimes a little lower, sometimes closer to the spine. Bend into that left knee, hand or elbow to the knee. Resist the urge to pull your shoulder back. Actually, try to spread that winging out. Maybe flip your hand over on your back, then turn from your waist. Turn open from your waist. Breathing. Press long through the back leg. Are you helping direct the knee so it's right over your ankle? And then extend that arm up and pull your torso up. And from here, your feet are nice and wide. You're going to sit back into your right leg and then go over to your left leg. And you're really trying, with your feet wide and straight, trying not to let the knee lead the way. You're going back with your hips and then over to the other side. And it's the same thing here. Once you've got the knee back and your thigh open, notice how far your torso tends to go forward. And sometimes you can play with your torso bending forward less. And sometimes you can play with your torso bending over more. Breathing. Next time you bend into your right knee, hold. Hips move back. Go over to your left knee. Hips and shin moves back. You can play with, like, does your torso move when your legs stay the same? How does that feel? How does that feel for your back? How does that feel for your hip? And then come back to center and heel toe. Heels in, toes in, heels in, toes in, heels in, toes in. Now we're going to, again, great idea. So if your chair is low, you don't want to lean over to balance. So either hands to the chair where it can lightly touch or hands to a wall, but you're keeping your hips back over your heels as you push down and bend your left heel in, straighten the leg every time, check, feet straight, ankles hip distance, push down through the opposite hip, bend the heel in, back that thigh bone up, and switch. Nothing wrong with holding on to something. In fact, if it helps you keep alignment, it's better for you. When I work on this on my own, because my thigh bones are still not completely in neutral rotation, like even as I'm doing this now, I can keep my hips back over my heels pretty well. I practice holding on to something so that I can keep my thigh bones more in neutral rotation. So using a prop is a great tool to get your muscles working in a better way. Okay, next time you push down through your right hip and hug it in, bend that left knee. How about pulling the thigh back and bringing it forward a little? Pull back a little and forward a little. How about letting it hang straight down and opening it out a little and hugging it in a little, and opening it out a little and hugging it in a little, and then bring it back to center. And how about rotating it one way and rotating it the other way? Can you rotate without your hips turning? So I did it with my hips turning. Rotate, rotate, back to center, lower the foot down. You can have one hand on the wall the whole time. Feet straight, ankles hip distance, push down through the left hip, hug it in, bend the heel in behind you. How about a little forward, a little back, a little forward, backing the thigh bone up, a little back. Knee hangs right by your side. Out to the side a little, hug it in a little. Out to the side a little, hug it in a little. Try to keep your hips square. Rotate your thigh bone, rotate, rotate, rotate. And then this whole time you got to focus on what that leg is doing. Is it pulling you forward? Is it keeping your weight in your heel? Put that foot down. And then from here, let's cross our right arm over our left arm and walk back. 2 straight arms, 2 straight legs. Breathing. Great time to practice neutral rotation of your thigh bones. You can have your hands closer or walk them farther apart. Your forehead can rest on your arms. Switch, maybe just wrist over wrist. Maybe walk a little further and push your hips back. Great time to practice neutral rotation of the thigh bones, making sure your kneecaps can lift up and down, making sure as you rotate into neutral, maybe seeing if you can straighten your legs a little bit more. Okay, press into the heels to come up. More balancing. Feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Hips over heels. Push down through the right leg. Left foot floats up. Rotate the thigh bone. Can you rotate from the top of the thigh bone without your hips turning? So keep your hips square, just move at the thigh bone. A little goes a long way. And then how about we'll do 3 angles. We'll do our toes turned out, our toes turned in, and then our foot straight. So toes turn out, micro pushback, very small pushback. You're just doing a little bit more of your outer hip, your outer glute muscles. And rotate your thigh bone in. Micro pushback. A little bit more of your inner thigh, inner glute muscles. Sometimes it's hard to turn your thigh in that much. And foot straight. Micro pushbacks. What is your standing leg doing? This should get more of the center of your buttocks muscles. Put that foot down. Okay. Feet straight, ankles hip distance. Feel free to rest your fingers on a chair, on a wall. Push down through your hip. First, rotate the thigh bone without the hips turning side to side. Now it's harder with a straight leg than a bent knee because you have to push down more to get that foot to float up and just keep it right over the floor, not going back, not going forward. And then turn your toes out, micro swing backs. Smaller is better. You go bigger, you start getting into your lower back, and then later today you'll be like, oh, why does my lower back feel that way? We're trying to just open the hip a little and activate the hip muscles in the back of the leg. Rotate that thigh bone in and micro swing backs there. Edge of the foot straight, micro swing backs there. What is your balancing leg doing? And then put that foot down, and from here, let's be at a wall space for just a moment, and we'll do 3 heights. Hand a little high, turn your chest open. I used to be really good at balancing. Like when I was in my yoga classes, this is, wow, decades ago at this point, I could stand in the center of the room and I felt very proud of myself because I was like really could hold a tree pose. Bring your hand a little lower, about shoulder height, arm straight, elbow pit wraps up to the ceiling a little bit. Turn your chest open. But I was balancing with a crooked foot, my weight forward in the front of my thigh. Not that that's a bad thing to do, but habitually I was setting myself up for more degeneration of my joints sooner, even though I could do something that I felt very good mentally about, which there's benefits in itself with that. Maybe you have to walk out a little bit, put your hand a little bit lower than your shoulder, and turn your chest open. I started learning all this biomechanics stuff, and oh my gosh, I was in front of classes. It was about a year into my teaching when I really started learning all this stuff, and I was falling left and right because I couldn't back my hips up over my heels at all. My hip majorly popped out to the side, which it doesn't really do that anymore. Okay, let's turn around. Put your hand higher. Back your weight up into your heels. Turn your chest open any amount without lifting your ribs up. I have experienced in my own body how my balance is incredibly better from the alignment cues. Feet straight, ankles hip distance, hips over heels. Bring your hand down chest height and work on those things with 2 legs first and then start working on them with 1 leg. And I'm really just now starting to really more practice putting my thigh bone in neutral, so I have a ways to go. My balance is going to get even better. But I just feel so much more stable on my legs. It's incredible, and it's hard to describe because I felt like I was good at balancing before. So keep working on the little things. I can't emphasize enough. Bring your hand down right below your shoulder. Turn your chest open. How the little things really do make a big difference. And if you're practicing the little things like the alignment skills over and over and you're running into issues, contact me. Don't hesitate to ask me questions. Say what's going on. You might need to do some stretches to better prepare your body, but be in touch with me and we can learn together to get you to a point where you just feel more stable in your body. It's a really nice feeling. It's a really empowering feeling. It takes time. Okay, take your hand off of there. Now we're going to either bend forward, hands to the back of the chair, or hands to the seat of the chair. Or you can do any variation in between by stacking books or blocks, but you want your spine to be kind of long with maybe a little natural curve in your lower back, not this. So if you're here, you want your hands stacked higher so your spine is longer. Outer edges of feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Push down through one hip. Let's start with our left hip. Let your right foot come up, just hang off the floor and slowly lift, backing the weight up into the heel. Does your right hip roll open? Pull your left hip back. It will turn your right hip to the floor. Tap your toes down. Lift, straightening through that leg. Tap down. Lift nice and slowly, the standing leg hip over heel. Tap down. Lift nice and slowly. Tap down. Feet straight, ankles hip distance apart. Push down through your outer right hip. Hug it in. Lift your foot behind you. Notice right away, does that hip lift up? Pull your right hip back your weight up. It will turn your left hip to the floor. Now, some people, this used to be myself, your hip will fall down to the floor. That's not most people. If that's you, you have to lift your hip up. Don't let it fall down. You're just creating even. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. Stretch that leg straight. Tap and lift. Tap and lift. Okay, put that foot down. Feet straight, ankles hip distance apart, elbow pits wrap forward. Stretch the right leg behind you. Now a little bit goes a long way. So when I say go to the right, you're not like going way out here, or when I say go to the left, you're not going way across. Your foot's back, a tiny angle makes a big difference when it comes to your buttocks muscles. So just hop your foot toe width over to the right. Back your hip up, lift. Your leg is a little bit wider out to the right. Tap, lift, stretch that leg straight, tap, lift, and tap. Left hip back and in. Lift, tap, lift, tap. Now how about taking that foot back to center and a little bit behind your left foot. Lift inner buttocks muscles. Tap, lift, tap, slightly across and behind. Lift, stretch that leg a little straighter. Tap, lift, and tap. Bring that foot down. Feet straight, ankles hip distance. Again, your hands can be higher, stacked on blocks. Elbow pits, you can work on wrapping them forward. Push down through your outer right hip, hug it in. Take your left foot back, but take it a little bit to the left. Back your hips up, lift, and tap. Stretch that leg straight, and tap. Lift, and tap, and lift, and tap. Bring your foot over behind, lift, and tap, lift, and tap, lift, and tap, lift, stretch that leg back, and tap. Bring your feet down. If your hands are on your chair, bring them up to the back of the chair, pull your hips back. Bring your hands back to the seat of the chair, back your hips up, push down to come up, grab something for a double calf stretch. We're going to double calf it, 2 blocks, rolled up towel, in a thoracic stretch. So you're going to put the balls of both feet up and have 2 straight arms as you push your hips back. So you might have to adjust your chair or adjust whatever you're using under your feet and push your hips back. Thigh bones can rotate into neutral. Check that your kneecaps can relax up and down. Check that when you're rotating your thigh bones into neutral, you're not doing it with crooked feet, because then they're not accurately rotating into neutral. Back your hips up, into your weight in your heels, come up and have a seat in your chair. And we're gonna start with those lean backs. And you might want something, so before you sit down, if you already sat down, sorry, but you might want something to lift and lower in your hands. You can use a block, you can use something heavier if you'd like to. Like I'm gonna grab one of these pillows, and I'm gonna use this pillow because there's a little bit of weight to it. So, but we're not gonna use it yet. Move whatever you don't need out of your way. Sit all the way back in your chair. And then from here, we're thinking of, oh, I was like, what am I sitting on here? From here, we're thinking of hands behind the head. Maybe interlace the opposite pinky on the back so it feels a little different. You're trying to bend yourself back without your ribs pushing forward. And come back up. And at first, it might be really slow, like your spine just might not bend back. And that's exactly why we're practicing. Hold, breathe. Slowly come up. So remember, throughout the day, we want to sit less. I mean, sometimes you want to relax, let your body rest, but we want to sit with our backs against the chair less often, sitting with our pelvis upright. Pick up whatever you want to pick up, a rolled up mat, a block between your two hands, maybe something with a little bit of weight, and we're going to lift and lower without our ribs lifting up, keeping our pelvis more in neutral, and breathing. And just any object that's safe, that maybe has a little bit of weight to it, sometimes lighter. If you're working on form, you can do lighter, but sometimes it helps you keep your ribs down and back more and feel more of your core muscles if it's something that's a little bit heavier. And then take your time, like lift to this height, and lift to this height, lift to this height, lift to this height, lift to this height, lower, 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 lower. So you can see sometimes when you weight it, why sometimes I say go slower, because sometimes this is a lot easier than this. And it's the same thing when you don't have a weight. You just might not be able to feel it as clearly. Okay, how about a few more, just at a slow, steady pace. Breathing. Check on the pelvis, check on the ribs. And then next time your arms come down, put down whatever you're using. So that's kind of an extra prop just to always kind of have around something a little heavier. All right, from our upright position, ribs relax down. You're going to drop your right ear over to your right shoulder. Take your left hand out to the side and just move that arm forward and back a little. Chin backs up if it tends to, push forward. And then bring that arm a little higher, palm up, and move it forward and back a little. Can your ear drop over to your shoulder a little bit more? And then slowly bring that hand in, left ear to left shoulder, right hand low by your side, palm up, forward and back a little. Chin backs up if it tends to stick out. Bring that hand a little bit higher, forward and back a little with the arm. And then bring your head up, stretch your legs long, flex your ankles. And then with your ankles flexed, try to curl your toes so they don't pull back. Let them curl forward a little bit and hinge forward from your pelvis. Maybe your head drops all the way down, tuning into your breath. And then come on up and sit all the way back in your chair for your final pose, Savasana. Let your gaze soften or your eyes gently close. Become very present with your body and with your breath. Happiness doesn't start with a relationship, a vacation, a job, or money. It starts with your thinking and what you tell yourself today. Give yourself the space to listen to your own voice, your own soul. Too many people listen to the noise of the world and get lost in the crowd. You're not a failure because you can't be all things to all people. You're a human being. Oftentimes, you have to say no to good things to be able to say yes to the most important things. You can't do it all. Breathe consciously and choose wisely. If you are passionate about something, pursue it a little bit each day, no matter what anyone else thinks. That's how dreams are achieved. Again and again, remind yourself why. With a strong reason why, you will be able to do what's required at any time and in any circumstance. You do not know exactly what the future will bring. So your best bet for living is to make the best and the most positive use of the present moment. Bringing your hands together at heart center. That's really why I study what I do and why I teach what I do, is to hopefully bring you an experience that helps moving and living your life feel easier and better. And if there's anything I can do to help you do more of that, please don't hesitate to let me know. In gratitude for this day, the very best in me honors and sees the very best in you. Namaste. Watch how you get up out of your chair.